What's going on, hockey fans, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. So today we're going to be taking a look at the first three games of the Stanley Cup Final here in 2020, in the year of our Lord, or whatever you want to call it, here in the NHL bubble, as you have the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll be taking a look and recapping the first three games of this series thus far, as well as my updated predictions on this series. We'll be taking a look at all that in this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below, and let's take a look at this recap of the series between the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, so let's start things off in Game 1, where we have the Dallas Stars, who recently came off a 4-day break after defeating the Vegas Golden Knights in their Western Conference Series, defeating them in 5 games. Meanwhile, on the other side, in the Eastern Conference, you have the Tampa Bay Lightning taking down the New York Islanders in 6 games. They only had 1 day off, so a pretty rough stretch here for the Tampa Bay Lightning, going from that Islanders series, which was pretty aggressive, right into this series against the Dallas Stars. No room for the weak, specifically in Tampa, to start this series, and that showed in Game 1. And the Dallas Stars completely pumped the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 1. A 4-1 victory for the Dallas Stars in Game 1. They seemed to dominate at most points in that game. Anton Khudobin, who has been the story in between the pipes through the entire Stanley Cup playoffs this year, continued that in Game 1 and looked very solid for the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars put up some goals, and that was a big difference maker. At the end of the day, you got to score goals, right? And they were able to do that. They were able to. First things first, we get John Hanley, the youngster, his first NHL game, and congratulations, he gets his first NHL goal in the Stanley Cup Final. Pretty exciting there for Hanley. He would get things going for this series. Yanni Gourde would come back with a goal to tie the game at 1, and it was all Dallas Stars the rest of the way. 2 goals in the second period. The big goon, Jamie Alexiak, getting his 5th goal of the postseason, and Joel Kiviranta, he gets his 5th of the postseason. What a great spot here for the Dallas Stars. He has looked so good in his limited time so far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Jason Dickinson picks up his first of the postseason, and that would prove to be the end of the game for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and a big victory in Game 1 for the Dallas Stars. The shots was a different story if you look at it. 36 shots for the Tampa Bay Lightning, only 20 shots on goal for the Dallas Stars, but they were able to score more goals, and at the end of the day, that's what wins you hockey games. So that's what we saw in Game 1. And then we move on to Game 2, where the story definitely starts to change. The Tampa Bay Lightning made a couple of moves, a couple of changes throughout the lineup, and they were able to succeed and get things going. And we saw that here in Game 2. Okay. So we've got Braden Point, who has been a huge difference maker here in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He gets on the board, makes it 1-0 for the Bolts. Andre Palat and Kevin Shattenkirk would get on the board in that first period as well, making it 3-0 Tampa after the first period. In the second period, Joe Pavelski picks up his 10th goal of the offseason here in the playoffs. He gets his 10th, and Matthias Janmark gets his first of the postseason. It's a 3-2 game. The Dallas Stars kept it close until the end, but the Tampa Bay Lightning reasserted dominance as the period went along. They were able to finish out strong. A big victory for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the big picture here for the Tampa Bay Lightning, the power play finally gets going here in Game 2. 2 for 4 on the power play in Game 2, and that would turn around this series, a momentum shift through the first 3 games, as we talk about here in Game number 3. All right, so now we move on to Game 3, which was the other night, and we have the Tampa Bay Lightning, a last-minute call. All of a sudden, we see them skating around warm-ups, and there's a guy on the Tampa Bay Lightning wearing a C. He hasn't been there since February 25th. Steven Stamkos. Yes, you heard me correct. The captain, Steven Stamkos, was back in the lineup for the Bolts in Game 3. Hasn't played since February 25th. It's been a little while since then, almost 8 months. So very exciting here for 7 months. Close enough, right? But Huge news for the Tampa Bay Lightning, a huge momentum boost, as if they didn't have enough after Game 2. They had even more with Stamkos coming back in for Game 3. So now we move into Game 3, and this game is huge because now it starts to set the tempo of the series, because now we're talking about, whoever goes up 2-1 in this series, the series becomes a lot easier to win, and that was the case here for the Tampa Bay Lightning because, the Tampa Bay Lightning would get things done. Nikita Kucherov starts off the scoring, his 7th of the postseason. He's looked pretty solid for them, and he gets a big goal to start things off. And that guy, Steven Stamkos, yes, his second shift back since 7 months ago, he finally gets a goal. He gets a goal on his second shift, a huge goal for him and the Tampa Bay Lightning. They go up 2-0. But not to be outdone, though, later in the first period, Jason Dickinson gets another goal. That's 2 goals in 2 games for Dickinson. His only 2 goals of the postseason, so he's starting to heat up here in the Stanley Cup Final. But it's 2-1 Tampa after 1. Now we move into the second period, and it's all Tampa Bay. Power plays, opportunities, goals. It's all in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Victor Hedman, his 10th of the postseason. Jesus, he's looked so good for the Bolts. Braden Point, his 11th of the postseason as well as Andre Palat. So the big boys getting things done for the Tampa Bay Lightning in that second period. And in the third period, Miro Heiskanen cuts the lead to make it 5-2, but that's as close as the Dallas Stars would get in game number 3. A huge victory for the Tampa Bay Lightning, sort of dominating the Dallas Stars. And unfortunately, Anton Khudobin, on a couple of those goals didn't look his best, but let's be honest, the Dallas Stars didn't as a team look all that great, specifically in Game 3, and we're seeing this momentum shift in this series. Now, the bad news for Tampa Bay Lightning fans is, you're up 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. What are you upset about? Steven Stamkos did not play in that second period, nor did he play in the third period, so there is some concern that he may be out with another injury. So hopefully he's back at some point in this series. I don't know if he'll be back for Game 4, if he'll be back for Game 5. Nobody knew he would be back for Game 3 up until he was out there. So this is all up in the air right now. It's good news that we saw him skate and he scored a goal, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on as this series progresses. So just something to look at. The power plays, 0 for 4 for the Dallas Stars and 1 for 4 for the Tampa Bay Lightning here in Game 3. The Tampa Bay Lightning really wanted to address the power play situation. They really struggled against the New York Islanders on the power play. In Game 1 of this series, they struggled on the power play as well. That's something they've been very much focusing on. They've been getting opportunities, but they just weren't burying them. And now they're starting to get those opportunities. They're scoring goals, and they're dominating the Dallas Stars kind of the way, as much as I hate to say it, that they did early on in the series against the New York Islanders. So we'll see how things go. Anton Khudobin, Jake Ottinger in between the pipes for Game 4 for the Dallas Stars starting things. I am going to go with Jake Ottinger. I think he should start Game 4. Not to say that Khudobin has been a great goaltender, but he's been playing every other night for the last 2.5, 3 months. He needs a break, and I think he's due that opportunity, especially the way the Tampa Bay Lightning have been bombarding him the last 2 games here in Games 2 and 3. I think he needs that break. Let Jake Ottinger get in there, a new breath of fresh air in that locker room for the Dallas Stars, and we'll see how things go. So, a couple of questions for you guys. Who do you think is going to win this series? Right now, I gotta say, I like the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. I think the Dallas Stars at least get 1 more victory. I think they will do that, but I think the Tampa Bay Lightning get things done. I think they win 3 of the next 4 games, and we're done. So let me know in the comment section down below what do you think of that. And Dallas Stars fans, who do you think should start in between the pipes for Game 4? They play again on Friday and Saturday, so it's a back-to-back. Do you want Khudobin to play both those games? I would say not, and especially with the way the series has turned here, I would go with Jake Ottinger. That's my honest opinion, but let me know in the comment section down below. You go with Jake Ottinger, or are you going to go with Anton Khudobin? So let me know in the comment section down below your opinions on those. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey and want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Make sure to check out our links in the description, our Instagram, as well as our Patreon at goalline_hockey. So that's it for this video, and have a great day.